This Cosmo Chronicle is going to be a little bit different because during this one, we are going to talk about Quad D, online learning, and how to move forward. When we are complete, you will have gotten some analytics about websites that are used most often and least often, and what we can do with those, where those websites may fall into our Quad D chart, how to use an IA generated lesson plan, and how to adapt that to your class, what coaches you can tap into, and how you can add different resources into the lesson so that it will bump into Quad D, it will include higher level thinking, and it might include a little more technology integration where your students can have some deeper learning experiences. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start with this quote. Everything has a place and time. Education has been going on for years, for decades, centuries, beginning with storytelling, and now we tell stories in different ways. So if you look at each of the images on the screen, you will see that there's a variety of ways that we are teaching our students. Right at the top in the center are worksheets. Worksheets are tried and true. They've been used in traditional teaching, and they are still used today. And when used effectively for their time and their place, then we know they will be effective. To the left of that and the right of that, you have someone working on a computer and you have someone building a robot. All three of those items on that top row are incredible. Now, looking at the bottom, on the right side, we have collaboration and building. And all the way on the left side, well, we've got some targets. And that is where all of our data and our testing, and we all know there's a whole bunch of testing, but that is where that's going to fall. When we put all of those pieces together, everything has a place and a time and will support the whole student, the whole learner. So, where are we going? This mission statement was created by our leadership team back in June. Take a moment to read it. Some things that you will see here in purple. Where are we going? We want to engage our students in rigorous and relevant learning. If you look at some of the numbers that are on there, we have over 1,000 creative young minds wanting to learn and consume all of the information they can. We have 80 plus certified teachers who are experts in their field, whether it is in a traditional classroom, a special ed classroom, an art classroom, a music classroom, whatever it is, we have over 80 educators, experts in their field. Over to the right, we have Quad D, and really, we want the student to be able to think and work with the content we are teaching them. We have 1,500 educational websites available to us, and in our building, we have 7 robotic tools that can be integrated that will work with a class upwards 25 to 30 students. Our character in the middle, well, he's holding our Quad D chart in his left hand, and in his right hand, he is holding that rigor, relevance, and relationship that we yearn to have for all of our students. And I like to say that our students are going to be looking like children and adults because any coach knows that anyone who wants to learn is going to be a student. So as we begin, let's look at that Quad D chart. We have our 4 quadrants. We have acquisition, application, assimilation, and adaptation. You'll see on the left side going up is our taxonomy, and on the bottom going across from 1 to 5 is going to start with, rote memorization all the way to application. So for the first activity, when we did this in our live session, we took a stack of icons and we placed them on the chart. So I might take Cool Math Games, and for those of you that are unfamiliar with this is going to be just different games that they're going to play where students will name a number, name an answer, may press a button on the screen. Then we have Dreambox. Dreambox is going to ask me maybe to apply a little bit of information on there, but generally I'm going to be given the answer I have to do. Google Drive brings up a host of questions because Google Drive, am I in Google Docs and typing something up? Am I in Google Slides that a teacher created for me and I'm taking something and I'm dragging it to fill in the blank? Or am I the student creating the Google slide? Am I creating the Google drawing? Did I build a Google site to teach you about a historical event? So during our live session, what we decided was Google Drive should go right in the center because that one there depends on what we are working on. BrainPop is another one that brings up questions, and we're going to look at this one a little bit more later. But BrainPop, if I watch a video and answer a question, well, that's going to be acquisition. If I take that same BrainPop, but now I'm going to make a map, make a movie, or do creative coding where I'm going to tell you a story, I'm adapting what I'm doing. I'm going to put it right between the simulation and adaptation, maybe a little bit more because I, the student, am driving a lot of the education. Learning A to Z, we decided this one also is going to go right here in the center because it will depend on how it is used by the teacher. Kahoot is another one. Who is making the quizzes? So a lot of these sites, it depends who is doing the work. So now let's take a look at some data that was collected from our school. This data that you see on the screen comes from LCPS Go, and by looking at this analytics, they date back right now through right around Thanksgiving. So we only have about 10 weeks of data at this time. This data is not time specific, so it does capture 24 hours, but it is data that is collected on a student Chromebook. So when you look at this, you'll see all of the green is the usage by the child. You'll see the purple is the usage by the teacher, and you'll see the orange is the average amount of minutes that the student, that the user is using this. So when we look at this, Schoology is our learning management system. We want it to be 100% of our students are using Schoology. That means that they are logging in to access the items. 83% of our teachers are using it. Well, that means that we need to have a few more teachers and figure out why are they not using it, because it is county policy to use it. Google Drive, we have a whole bunch of people doing it. But now let's look down in the lower right corner and Cool Math. And during our live session, this brought up some questions. So look at that data and hold on to that information. You'll notice that 74% of our students are using it for an average of 181 minutes. It's a lot of time. There are no teachers that are using Cool Math to play the games or do whatever they're doing, but 74% of our students are doing this. Now, again, like I said before, this is not time specific, so I wonder, when are they using it? Some teachers stated, well, do they use it during recess time? Does this account for time after school and they use it then? These are valid questions and we don't have the answers at this moment. Let's go ahead and move forward. And now let's look at these sites here, because these sites were ones that would offer opportunities for students to create items. Canva and Adobe Express, they are competitors. They offer the same type of product that we can make. Only 42% of our students are using Canva. 6% of our kids are using Adobe Express. Now, if you look at the amount of teachers using it, those numbers will match it because it shows that 44% of our teachers are using Canva. That tells me, as their instructional technology coach, that our teachers are much more comfortable using Canva. Canva is a very user-friendly tool for all learners, for all students. I'm wondering why that number is not higher, because students can create a multitude of things in that product. Google Docs, we have quite a bit of people that are using it, but let's look over at BrainPop. And I want to draw your attention to the orange oval that's in BrainPop. It's saying that students are only using this for an average of 15 minutes. That tells me that most likely the teachers are using this as a quiz, a video and quiz tool, and then the kids are closing it and moving on to something else. So as a coach, why aren't they using the creation tools that these students can use? Because those of you that have gone in and looked at BrainPop, when you go into those creation tools, they will have very short videos, I'm going to say no more than 120 seconds, that walk you through how to do each part of this. This is complete independent work. WeVideo is another tool that is fabulous, and our fifth graders actually use it when we do our news show. That's the tool that they use to make the birthday videos, the moment of silence. So we have students who are experts in this, but a very small amount of our students are actually getting their hands in it. So at this point, what have we learned? We learned that we have 1,500 websites at our fingertips. That is overwhelming. We learned the top 6 sites that are used the most and the top 6 creation sites that are used the most. We see that there are gaps there. But if you look at the screen and we look at the human resources, you have opportunities for people to help you with your lessons. We have reading specialists every day in our building. We have our IFT, myself, the instructional facilitator of technology to help you. We have administration, all former educators with strengths in different areas. We have our district instructional facilitator, and although she is not in our building daily, she is reachable in a multitude of ways and would be happy to work with you. We have our specials teachers, art, music, library, PE, that would be happy to reach out, and we have Fusion and Search. So if you want to learn a way to increase the depth of your lesson, you have 6 different areas of people that you can go to. But let's talk about just some independent work. We know who we can go to for help, but we also know that sometimes our time constraint is holding us back. We know that sometimes we work at times that are not conducive for us to be able to speak with these people. So let's look at a website that might help us with this. So on the left side, there's an email from a teacher who originally the email was just for a meeting, but you say, well, we need some help because we have theme and we have summarizing events of the plot coming up. Here's our standard, and I'm not really sure what to do with it. Can you help me come up with a lesson? So on the right side of the screen here, you'll see that I plugged in the grade level, the standards, and then I asked it to generate a lesson. When I did that, it came up with the 5E lesson plan. This one matches the same lesson plan format that comes out of our science department with all of their pre-made lessons that are created for us to use all of the time. So when I sent this link to the teacher, I said, here, can you just go ahead, look at this, and let's see what you come up with. What she did was we copied that, we pasted in a Google Doc, and we shared it with her. And what this teacher did was she highlighted the items here that she's like, all right, I see what's going on here. She went up to the comment box and then she added comments about what would work and what would work. You can see down here, it says, I would consider using short stories and passages they're already familiar with. So write thinking out loud in a digital format. So she's putting this down and she's saying, I really like what's going on. But what's even better about this is this teacher in particular is on a team of 6 people. That team has 4 new people to our school, 1 new person to the grade. And using the share button at the top of the screen, she is able to take that document, share it with her teammates, and go, hey, here's what I'm doing. So now where did I get all of that from? This Magic School AI. It's an generated website, and there's so many of them out there. So you may have a favorite one, but in Magic School AI, what I did was I'm going to type in lesson. When I type in lesson, I have 3 different lesson plan formats. Like I said before, I use the 5E model lesson plan. We selected 4th grade. We typed in the standards, and at the bottom, we click generate. That's how the lesson was formed. Coming back to Magic School, you will see that there are a bunch of options for you to do of all different levels. You can go and you can see what else is out there, see what else works, see what you might be able to do. So in wrapping this up, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. What did we learn today? We learned that they have a lot of sites to use. We have a lot of robots to use. We have a lot of human resources that are here to support us. We have an online tool that can help us think, but we also know that we are the experts in our fields, and what we want to do is adjust that computer generated lesson for us and take it and adapt it to the needs of our class. We know that we are going to continue to celebrate the champions that are in our school, and there'll be more information coming about that. Thanks for checking in to the next edition of the Cosmo Chronicle.